In the name of Allah, the Rahman and the Rahim. Dear students and viewers, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome you all in today's lecture. That lecture is in English 3 course. That is communication and presentation skills. Okay. It means that after the completion of this course, you will be able to identify the initial components of communication and presentation. Like this course will give you awareness and skills of effective communication, that you will improve your communication skills and presentation skills. Okay, let me share with you people outline of the lecture. That in today's lecture I'll give you the introduction, okay, of this lecture, and then we will define that what is communication. We will also define that what is language, and we will see that what is the relationship between communication and language. Okay, I'll also share with you people some facts about language, and we will study the origin of the word communication, that from where it comes. Okay, and we will discuss these things. After the discussion, I'll give you conclusion. We will conclude. Okay, so let's start. Now it's introduction. Like, we know that we are human beings. Okay, we live together, we need to communicate with others. Like, we are living in community, in society, in a country, in a special area. Okay, so we are sharing our thoughts. We need to communicate, to talk to others. Okay, to share our ideas, to exchange knowledge, beliefs, opinions, wishes, threats, commands, thanks, okay, promises, declarations, feelings, and emotions. So all these things are possible. How we share, how we exchange our knowledge, our beliefs, our opinions with others. Okay, our wishes. Okay, we are giving wishes to others, we threat others, we also receive threats from others, we are commanding others, or some people they command over us. So we thanks somebody, we are making promises, we are keeping promises with others, declarations, feelings are done. So how these things are possible? These things are possible through language, okay, through communication. We laugh to express amusement, yes, happiness, or disrespect. Like, we are laughing, okay, we are creating jokes, we are making fun, like for others at others. Okay, for instance, there is difference between laughing with someone and laughing at someone. Like, we say that we laugh to express amusement and happiness or disrespect. There is difference between laughing with others and laughing at others, or laughing with someone or laughing at someone. Like, laughing with someone means enjoying the company of someone. Okay, to enjoy things with someone, it means that you are laughing with them or that person. Ah, sometimes we are laughing at someone. Okay, at somebody we are laughing, it means that we disrespect that very person. Okay, we give them, like, we are making joke of that very person, so we are laughing. So these all things are possible. We are doing these things, laughing or smiling or conveying ideas or messages to others. These things are possible through language, through communication. Okay, we smile. Similarly, we smile to express amusement, pleasure, yes, approval, or bitter feelings. Okay, we smile and we are doing these things. How all these things are done by human beings? Now it's a question for us, that how these things are done to express feelings, emotions, feelings of pleasure, in feeling of happiness, a feeling of sadness. Okay, how we will be able to distinguish feeling of happiness, okay, from feeling of sadness? Okay, this there is system behind these things, like how these things are possible. There is a system for doing these things, and that very system enable us to do the same, okay, to do these things. That, like before each and everything, that very system is known as language. Okay, particular system is there for doing these things, and that system is called language. So now, what is language? We'll define language. Then we will be possible to define communication. Okay, language is a system of communication based upon words and combination of words into sentences. It means that communication is possible through language. If there is language, then we will communicate, then we will share our thoughts with others. So, this process of sharing, this process of conveying ideas, this process of exchanging thoughts, knowledge, and so many things, okay? How this process is possible, how this process will be successful. This process will be successful through language, okay? Like language is the medium of communication. Communication is possible through language. Like we can say that the system of communication is in speech and writing that is used by people of a particular country or area. So the system of communication, language is a system of communication, okay? In language, uh, has the capacity for communication. Simply, we can say language is a means for communication, or it is a means of communication. It is the basic source, it is the primary source of communication. Through language, communication is possible. Like there is a very famous quotation, okay, regarding language, fact about language. Language is the most remarkable tool in the hands of human beings, which makes other tool possible. Yes, through language, like we are human beings, they are considered tool making animals, okay? And in the hands of human beings, they have this power of language. Through language they are make this, that language is by itself, it is a tool, it is a very remarkable and distinguished tool in the hands of human beings, okay? Through language, through while using that tool of language, human beings, they are making other things possible. So how other things are possible? Through language, okay? And we are making other tools for our easiness, for other human beings. And this quotation is, this line is from C.L. Babu, The Story of Language. It is the name of a book, okay, written by that very person. The Story of Language. In Story of Language, there is like language is the most remarkable tool in the hands of human beings, which makes other tools possible. Okay, it is saying that without language, the hustle and bustle of the world will be stand still. Yes, like we see the hustle bustle around us in our surroundings, okay? People, they are busy in their activities, they remain busy in their activities around us. A lot of people they are doing works, they are busy in their own activities, like each person is doing his her activities. So the hustle and bustle, these all activities are possible through language. If there is no language, so we cannot do these activities. These activities like will be next to impossible. So how these activities are possible? Through language. Now, what is communication and what is language? What is the relationship of language with communication? Like we know that these two terms are these two things, communication and language, they are inseparable. We can't separate one from another. We can't separate. We like language depends on communication. Okay, like through communication, language comes. How we are learning language through communication. Yes, and how we are communicating through language. So these two terms are inseparable in nature. We can't separate them, okay? Communication by means of language may refer to as linguistic communication. Yes, but dear students, communication which is done through language is known as linguistic communication. Like we are also doing communication, we are also communicating, okay, with others, like we are not using language. For example, let me give you example, okay? If there is a traffic police standing at a very busy chowk, okay, he is not using a single word, but he is giving direction to a lot of vehicle, buses, rickshaws, many cars. Okay, he is not using a single word. How he is doing communication, how he is communicating, how he is controlling the traffic. Okay, by indications, by his gestures, postures. Okay, so communication is also possible through gestures, postures. Okay, through body language, we can say through body language communication is possible. But remember, dear students, a communication which is possible, which is which is done by means of language, may be defined as linguistic communication. It means that we have non-linguistic communication and we have linguistic communication. Linguistic communication is done through words, through language, okay? While communicating through language is known as linguistic communication. The other ways of mention above mentioned, we have mentioned like smiling, laughing, okay, and so on, are the other types of non-linguistic communication. Like dear students, through smiling we convey what? We convey meanings. We convey meaning of happiness, pleasure, okay, and meaning of approval. So we are not using words, but by our face, like facial expressions, we are conveying meanings to others. So this is called non-linguistic communication. Now it is clear that system of communication, our language is in exclusively human property. Yes, it is only possible in the hands of human beings. They can do communication through language. Okay, like there is also the concept of signals. We will discuss in our next lecture that what is difference between communication of animals and communication of human beings. Okay, so now it's clear that communication and language, they are inseparable in nature. We can't separate them. Like we are using words, we are using language for communication, and we are also learning language through communication. Now, what is communication? To the exchange of ideas, thoughts, meanings, knowledge between and among beings is known as communication. Yes. So, communication is a two-way process. Yes. Like two parties will be involved in communication. Communication is not done in vacuum. Our communication is not done in done by an individual. But for communication, we need what? For communication, we need other party. For communication, we need others. Okay, we are communicating with others. The very basic definition of communication is through convey ideas to convey ideas to others. Okay, this is called communication. So the exchange of ideas, thoughts, meanings, knowledge, emotions, feelings between and among human beings is known as communication. It means that communication is a two-way process. It is turn taking taking process. It is a turn taking process. Like, dear students, if I say things, if I am talking, you will be listening. If I am seeing, you will be listening. Okay? Like, for example, right now I am seeing things, I am seeing words, I am like sharing with you people knowledge. Okay? I'm imparting knowledge and you are receiving knowledge. So we like two parties, I and you people. Okay, so this is like what is going on among us, what is going on, how I am communicating through language, and this like communication is going on between you and like I am one party, consider me on one side and you people are the on the other side. Okay, so it is a turn taking process. Now it's my turn, you will be listening. Okay, I'm speaking, you are listening, so then you will be your turn taking process. It is a systematic process, yes. If, for example, consider, imagine it, okay? If, for example, there are many people and they all are talking, so it will be very awkward. It looks very awkward when all people they are talking. It should be a systematic process. It is not done in haphazard way. Yes, it's clear. It is not done. It is done in a systematic manner, in a systematic way. It like communication can be verbal or non-verbal. In verbal, we are using words, we are using language. Verbal is also known as linguistic communication, or it would be non-verbal. Non-verbal means a communication which is done through gestures, postures, indications, okay, pictures, symbols, signs. It is considered successful, like communication is considered successful when it brings desired results. Yes, why we are communicating? To convey ideas to others. How this communication would be successful if we convey the same thing that we want. Now, what is the origin of the word communication? The word communication comes from the Latin words communicare or communis, okay? These words mean, like, it is basically from the Latin words. The origin of that word is Latin. It derives from Latin words, okay? These words mean to share, to exchange, or to hold in common. Now, there are various definitions by various authors. They defined communication differently. We will study, okay? Now, what is communication? We defined language that a system of communication, okay? Through language, communication is done. Through language, communication is like we are doing communication through language. But now, what is communication? According to Aristotle, communication is search for all available means of persuasions. Communication is search for all available means of persuasion. Like we are persuading others, okay? Like we are counseling others, we give them our ideas, okay? So, through communication is search for all available means of persuasions. How you will persuade others? How you will like impress others? To impress others, to give your ideas to others, to make them understandable. Yes, to give them knowledge. So it is search for all available means. Like we have means for communication. So to search all those means, according to Aristotle, is known as communication. Communication is the main highway to all human relations. Yes, it's very beautiful like interpretation of communication, that communication is the main highway to all human relations. How we are making relations with others? Through communication. When we are communicating with them, with others, so our relations We are making relations. We are building relation with others. According to Oxford Advanced Learner Dictionary, communication is the action of conveying or exchanging information in ideas. Yes, conveying or exchanging ideas with others. Okay. So, dear students, we can conclude these things from the above discussion that communication has been defined by many people as the act of giving, receiving, or exchanging information. Yes, in communication, we give information or we receive information or we exchange information. Yes, ideas and opinions to others so that the message is completely understood by both parties. Yes, we have discussed that communication is a two-way process, it's a turn-taking process. Two parties will be involved. So how they will be how they will be learning things, how they will be understanding things through communication. When they exchange things, when they exchange their opinions and ideas, then they will be able to understand the situation. So, because it is a two-way process, it is a learned skill. Yes, it's very important. Communication is a learned skill. We are learning communication. Okay, like right now we are trying to learn communication to make our communication successful, to bring there is desirable results through communication. Okay, so it is a learned skill, like efforts for learning. We required efforts. Okay, we are learning things through efforts. So likewise, for communication we need time, we need efforts, we need energy, we need to learn. Okay, we need to learn about communication. Like right now we are learning about communication, that how we will learn communication. efforts are required Efforts are required to make communication successful. Language is involved in the process of communication. Like, language is the medium of communication, or it is the means of communication. Okay, language by itself is very complex phenomenon. Okay, so we need to learn language for communication. So that's why it is a very a skilled process, a skilled communication is a learning of skill. Okay, it is a special skill. Some people, they can communicate very easily. Some people, they have this ability to communicate very successfully. Some people, they are not good at communication, they can't communicate, they can't easily convey their message to others. So, dear students, right now, for time being, we are thinking that how our communication will be successful, how we can improve our communication. Okay, so in this lecture, we defined that what is language, what is the origin of the word communication, from where it comes. Okay, and what is communication. So we defined that language is the medium, language is a system of communication, or it is the medium of communication. Communication is the exchange of ideas with others, to share our thoughts, feelings with others. It is done through communication. And our next class, we will be learning the purposes and objectives of communication. If you have any question, you can ask. You are welcome to ask question. Please comment and read about, watch other videos as well. Thanks for watching, for giving us time. Assalamu alaikum.